Hello guys from Plant Reviews, today 15th of June, and I'm talking now about a plant that I purchased from Pembert Plants, a nursery specialized in UK, in Cornwall, and the nursery specialized in South African plant. I purchased some bulbs of Gladiolus venustus. However, I was very happy that the plant was growing very well until I found out that the flower bloom in a completely different way than expected, and I found out that the plant was actually Freesia laxa, also called Anomatheca laxa or Anomatheca cruenta. I'm sorry that I have problems in focusing about this the flower. However, let's yeah, okay, now it's a bit better. The plant comes from Africa, including South Africa, and it actually ranges in different countries from the eastern part of Africa, from Kenya to the south to South Africa, indeed. Well, Pembert Plants was kind enough when I told that of the problem to replace obviously to replace the plant with another one of my choice, because Gladiolus venustus was not anymore in stock at the nursery. So I purchased a very nice, another nice South African plant, leptospermum. So I really, it's a small plant. But of the same price of the Gladiolus venustus, and I'm really looking forward to grow it because the flowers are wonderful. It's the leptospermum obliquum. Well, sorry for the digression, let's get back to business about Freesia laxa. Freesia laxa is a cormus plant, therefore the corms bulbs are put in the pot when they are when it's season, obviously, to put them in pots in autumn. I received the plant already in pot, but was not in bloom back then last year, so obviously I didn't know that this plant was actually a Freesia, even if I should have been a bit suspicious, because the foliage is actually quite different from the gladioli foliage. Anyway, I've never seen the Gladiolus venustus before, so I thought maybe probably is a different leaf, the Gladiolus. The leaves, as I said, you are grass-like, and very bright green. The size is about 30 centimeters tall, and the plant grows in late winter and spring, blooming between the end of spring, late spring, and early summer, midsummer at the most. It can produce clusters of flowers. I've seen clusters of 3-4 flowers in other plants. In some pictures, even more. However, obviously, this plant is still young, and it produced only I have only 2 cores, and they produced 1 flower each. One flower managed to produce a seed pod, as you can see, even if I didn't pollinate it myself and I have no idea what kind of insect might have pollinated it indoors. Maybe managed to come through the window. However, now I have another beautiful flower in bloom. It is a nice flower. I honestly wouldn't have bought it myself because I knew the Freesia, this kind of Freesia in particular, is not fragrant. Even if the color is very bright, is a very nice red with the 3 tepals, with the 3 lower tepals, showing a dark red spot near the center of the flower. The flower is a tubular flower, as you can see. The tube is quite long, and I'm not too sure what kind of insect pollinate this plant, but very probably one with a very long proboscis indeed, to reach the end of the tube. However, I'm not even sure if actually it's an insect or a bird, because usually plants that are so brightly colored and tubular are often, especially in red, are often pollinated by birds more than insects, because most insects are not actually sensitive to red. I know some butterflies actually are able to see red, so possibly there is a butterfly that has such a long proboscis to pollinate this flower. However, one of the flowers, as I said, was pollinated without me doing any pollination, so I'm not, and I doubt a butterfly managed to get through the window in my house. Anyway, you never know. The flower itself is very small, is about 1 centimeter in, no, sorry, 1 centimeter and a half in size. I read that they can reach up to 2 centimeters. I'm sorry that this with the mobile is a pain, but yeah, this is my index finger in comparison, so you can see that the flower is slightly bigger than my fingernail, my index fingernail. So obviously you can see the flower is very bright, the red is beautiful, really wonderful, but the size of the flower is so small that really this is a plant that you want to keep just if you really like this flower. It is a quite unusual Freesia. Usual Freesia have a much bigger flower, and I've seen red Freesias, but they don't have this tone of red. The tone of red is really, really, really wonderful. It's a very bright red. Again, sorry if I'm not able to focus much on this flower. I'm not too sure why, but I really wanted to give a better view of this flower. And you can see how beautifully colored it is. However, as I said, it's not fragrant. It's a little bit different from normal Freesias, and that's the reason because it's also sometimes called false Freesia. In the past was was classified as Anomatheca, laxa, or it is now classified as Freesia laxa. It was also classified as Anomatheca cruenta in the past. About the common names, I found a variety of common names. Some people call this Scarlet Freesia, sometimes I've read flowering grass because of the grass-like foliage. And some other time false Freesia, like if this was not even a Freesia because of the color and the lack of scent. However, is now classified in the genus Freesia, so probably I would say that Scarlet Freesia should be the best name for this plant. I mean, the most scientifically correct name. Even if the red still is the most common color in populations of this plant. These plants, however, is also known a white form, white with red spots in the same area where the spots are in this flower, so the center of the 3 lower tepals, but also is known a flower that is completely white, pure white, and another one that is like a blue lavender type. I've seen some pictures and some videos of some colonies of these plants. It is a nice sight to see this kind of sea of grass intermingled with these beautiful, with a profusion of these beautiful red flowers. However, considering that the flower is so small and the foliage is not really ornamental, really look like grass. It's not really a plant I would have bought myself. Indeed, I remember clearly that this plant was advertised in the nursery, but I decided not to buy it, even if I love red, and you can imagine that me not to buy a red flower must be something pretty strange. Obviously, the lack of scent played the most part. About the cultivation of this plant, I cultivated it this winter on a windowsill, in a south-facing windowsill. This plant indeed does best in full sun, and obviously, like most corms and most bulbs, needs very well-drained soil. The plant is a plant that I found that can actually be considered hardy in the mildest part of the UK. So I might try this autumn to have it in outside and see if next spring comes up, hopefully, with some more corms, so to give a bit bushier aspect. However, I also read that this plant really prefers dry conditions and does not tolerate freezing during winter. So I'm not too sure if in the middle of Kent, where I live, where sometimes freezing conditions are present, this plant might survive if exposed to wet conditions and cold conditions in the winter. I would suggest, if you really want to keep this plant, to lift the bulbs if you have it in the garden, or if you have it in a pot, bring the pot in a frost-free place. As I said, the plants grows mainly in early spring and flowers between late spring and early summer, and then goes dormant again. It is a plant that is not very common to find usually in garden center, so definitely if you like the plant, you might have much better luck online. And one second, guys, I want to really bring a better aspect. Yeah, I think this is the best view of the flower. And if you like South African plants, definitely this is a plant that might suit you, because the color is really wonderful. But if you want something red, some flowers red, they are bigger and fragrant. Well, there's not many fragrant flowers that are red, but especially if you like big red flowers, this plant is not one for you. I would suggest you to buy this plant only if you are really interested in this flower as a peculiarity among freesias. If, for example, if you like freesias as flowers. Me is not really is not a real flower or plant that I found incredibly interesting. So what I might do is just give it away to friends, or try at least to plant in the garden this autumn and see if it comes with more bulbs next spring, as I hope. I mean, in the garden, especially in the rock garden, I think is a beautiful view, this red flower. However, remember, freesias flowers only once a year. It's not really, the blooms don't last too long in this particular species. Surely don't last more than 7 days per flower. So there are much better perennial plants that flower for much longer. Anyway, let's see how it goes this year, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If I'm sorry that my review is not very positive about this flower, but as I said, I know much better red flowers that I can recommend you for indoor plants or outdoor plants. However, obviously this is my personal opinion. The flower is pretty, is a very nice red, so you might actually like the flower. And if you enjoyed the video, it would be great if you would subscribe to my channel to see more videos and get updates about my videos, and obviously any of your comments, both positive or negative, is very welcome. I hope to see you next time, and hopefully with a much better review about the plant. See you again, and thanks very much for watching. Bye.